Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Welcome to our weekly YouTube Kahului Hongwanji online Sunday service. Today is October 18th, 2020, and we are having our regular family service today, just a simple service. Thank you very much for joining together during this COVID-19 time. Even though we can't come together in person, we are still able to keep in touch through this medium of YouTube video, and we are still able to kind of nurture each other, support each other on our Dharma path. Of course, we don't need YouTube or we don't need Sunday service to live the Buddhist life. That's really up to us individually to do that, but it's really helpful to be able to work together and support each other in this way. So thank you very much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed today's service. Today's service will begin with the Vandana and Tisarana, followed by Gasho to Amida, chanting of Gasho to Amida. After that, we will have the recitation of the Golden Chain of Love, and then I will share a Dharma message with you. And then we will go on to the metta, or the loving kindness meditation. And then we will end with the Nembutsu and a few closing words. Okay, so thank you very much, and let's put our hands together in Gasho and begin our service as we recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Bhutang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dhamma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Namo This light shines throughout the world. I gasho to Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I gasho to Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I gasho to Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I gasho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I gasho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play, every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light, I gasho to Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I gasho to Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I gasho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I gasho to Amida. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. I'd like to share a few thoughts about the Buddha's teaching with you at this time. So let's begin by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Well, here we are again, still going through this COVID-19 era, sort of era of craziness. And I don't know, we can use a lot of different words that Buddhism used thousands of years ago to describe times like this, unpredictable, a lot of delusion that flies around, a lot of self-centeredness, that we see in the world around us. Also just plain old suffering, old age, sickness, and death. COVID is just nothing more than another form of sickness. Something that we encounter and we have to deal with in one way or the other. So, it's a difficult time. Here in Maui, we've been very lucky, so we haven't had a huge impact personally, but of course we have, as I've said before, we still have to be careful and follow all the recommendations so that we don't become the cause of spreading it or have more of it here. So we have to be mindful of these things, and not only for ourselves but for the sake of others, because wherever the COVID can be spread, it can spread other places elsewhere and cause suffering and sickness and death. So we want to be careful about that. So today I'd like to talk about Amida Buddha. What is Amida? As a minister, I get the questions about Buddhism from temple members and visitors, and people will ask things like, questions about Buddhism. They'll say, what is karma? What happens after we die? They'll ask, is there really a Pure Land? Is there really a hell? Is there a hell? Who is Amida Buddha? People will ask. Or is Amida real or just a symbol? Or they'll ask, what is the difference between Amida and Shakyamuni Buddha? That's actually the easiest one to answer in a way. Shakyamuni Buddha refers to the historical Buddha, the person who actually lived in India 2,500 years ago. So he was a historical person. Amida Buddha is a sort of, you might call, in Mahayana Buddhism, there are many kind of, you might say, cosmic Buddhas described in literature, and they are in some sense symbolic. Amida Buddha is not symbolic in the sense that it just refers to something or just symbolizes something. Amida Buddha is meant to convey reality itself. Amida Buddha is boundless life, measureless wisdom, infinite compassion, and kind of personified by this idea of Amida Buddha. So I'd like to talk a little bit about Amida Buddha today, because talking about Amida can really get us to the essence of Buddhism. Sometimes our members here don't think too much about Amida, what Amida is. In our Shin Buddhism, or Jodo Shinshu, Amida Buddha does express the eternal power of wisdom and compassion working through all existence, all reality. Amida, which is, when it's written in Chinese characters, stands for the Sanskrit words Amitabha and Amitayus, which mean measureless light and measureless life. So the light of Amida is infinite wisdom, Because for us to know and understand something, we need to see it. Light allows us to see it. So the light of Amida allows us to see things as they really are. Amida's life, Amitayus, measureless life, means infinite compassion, because to live means that we exist in interdependence with all beings. When our living is illumined by wisdom, we naturally feel compassion, and we feel understanding for others, because we see others as part of ourselves, not as separate things. We see our connection with each other. Amida is the wisdom that wakes us up to see things as they are, and we respond in compassion to others. We become the living expression of Amida's boundless life. Unfortunately, we are so distracted and deluded by our selfishness and ego that we have a very hard time seeing anybody or anything clearly. Most of the time, we cannot see past our own desires, our own feelings, our own opinions. The boundless light of Amida is always there, but we hide from it, or we shelter ourselves from it. We isolate ourselves from it. Our ego is like having very dark sunglasses that make day seem like night. Sometimes our self-centered viewpoint is so great that we become totally blind to everything else. Our ego-centered life is really painful because we can never attain what we want, or keep what we have, or achieve what we want to achieve. So we struggle very hard to be in control, you know. To achieve our goals, we need the help of others, but our ego refuses to see and acknowledge that everything we are, everything we do, always depends on the help of countless beings. And so instead of realizing our debt of gratitude to others, we try to control the world around us to attain our desires. And we delude ourselves that, you know, it's all me, it's all my talent, my skill. Some people spend their whole lives seeking power, seeking material possessions, seeking popularity, or whatever it is that will allow them to feel like they're in control, like they have a handle on things. The absurdity of this kind of ego life is that because everything is always changing and everything is impermanent, we can't ever hold on to anything in life. Living like that, we are unable to see the light that constantly illumines us. And so we live in confusion, desperately trying to preserve our illusion of control and power. That's what hell is in Buddhist understanding. It's our life of delusion, our life of suffering because of our ego and self-centeredness. Jodo Shinshu has always taught the importance of realizing limitations, my imperfections, and being aware of my tendency to be blinded by my own ego. If I desperately hang on to the certainty that I know best, I have the right answers, I have the right opinions, that my views are always correct and complete, I cannot receive the light of Amida, at least not in that state, not in this life maybe. It's so easy to build walls to protect ourselves against the intrusions of others and pretend that we don't need anybody but ourselves. This is the era of wall building, I think. It's been going on for a long time. But the moment I admit the slightest doubt into my mind of my own superiority and independence, Amida's light comes flooding in to show me my foolish self, and at the same time to embrace me and reassure me of the infinite love that always supports me. This is what Shinran Shonin meant by Shinjin, faith in Amida, trusting in Amida. When I meet Amida Buddha, Amida becomes my inner light of wisdom, the dynamic force of life that constantly guides and teaches me, allowing me to naturally let go of my own power. Trusting in Amida boundless light and life, transforms my living into the path of endless discovery and appreciation. This is also called awakening or enlightenment. I would like to read a short passage written by the late Reverend Kenru Tsuji, former Bishop of Canada, who also previously served as a minister in Hawaii and also the BCA. He said, this is a quote, "As long as man is quite content living an unawakened life and not knowing how to reflect on his self, his own self, he thinks that the ego, existing in blind passions, is natural. However, once man searches the state of awakening and begins to reflect on himself, he will be conscious of his real nature, which can never be freed from blind passions. The more we try to negate blind passions, the more it becomes clear to us that blind passions are rooted in our very nature. And yet, unless these blind passions are negated, it will be impossible to realize the rational self that seeks enlightenment." By rational self, by the way, Reverend Tsuji means being able to look at oneself honestly and critically. Yes, hard to do that, to look at ourselves critically as if we're another person looking at ourselves. So Reverend Tsuji goes on, "The harder we try to negate our blind passions, the more we know how difficult it is to achieve enlightenment. The development of our rational self means the sharpening of our consciousness, the deepening of realization, and coming to the astonishing conclusion that our passions are unfathomably deep. Unfathomably deep. As the realization of the rational self progresses, we become increasingly aware of the difficulty of eradicating passions and are faced with frustration on all sides, neither able to eradicate our blind passions nor able to find enlightenment. This is the inner conflict that Shinran Shonin experienced." So that's the end of Reverend Tsuji's quote. So, it's in just that state of frustration, just what he said, when we give up on our own wisdom to resolve the dilemma of life, to realize my own wisdom is not going to solve the problem. And when we realize the futility of basing our life on the illusion of my own power, my own self-sustaining power, that Amida's light of wisdom illumines our path, then, right, when we realize this, in that frustration, Amida's light of wisdom illumines our path and awakens us to trust in the power beyond ourself. And then what happens? What do you think? We are said to be on the Bodhisattva path, the path of becoming Buddha, but really to trust in Amida's other power, the power beyond self, the power of the transcendent oneness of all things, boundless life, is simply to awaken to life as it is, to become my true self. Amida's boundless life shows us that life is simply life. Happiness and pain are just what they are. Every moment of life is just what it is. We continue to be the foolish beings we always were. Yet, at the same time, everything is settled and there is nowhere to go except to be fully present right here and now. So, thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you will reflect a little bit on these teachings, especially these words of Reverend Tsuji, and come to think about your own life in a deeper way that will bring you to this kind of joy and happiness in the present moment. So thank you very much, and let's put our hands together in Gassho and recite the Nembutsu as we conclude these words. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Well, thank you very much for joining together with us today for our online YouTube Kahului Hongwanji Sunday service. Really appreciate your support of watching these videos and all the other help that you're able to give us. Thank you so much. Hopefully one day we'll be able to have our services back to normal in the church on Sunday, but actually for those of you who are not able to come to church, to temple, it's really good that we're able to do this, and probably we'll try to continue it in some form. So thank you very much. There will be some announcements with the scrolling text at the very end of the video, so please take a look at those if you wish. So thank you very much, and let's conclude now by putting our hands in Gasho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida.